Hi everyone, my name is Sébastien Lagree. I am the creator and founder of Lagree Fitness. Today I want to talk about the different handles that you can buy for your Megaformer and also the Evo, how they all compare to each other. So when you buy your Megaformer, when you buy an M3, an M3s, an M3K, it's going to come standard with the rotating handles. So over here we have an M3s, and this M3s has a rotating handle. So when you buy an M3s, this is how it comes. With these handles on the front, these handles on the back. They are called rotating handles because they rotate, okay? Here we have the top bar rotate 4 different directions. And then we also have the middle bars that also rotate 4 different directions. The reason we have that many rotation is to adapt to whatever exercise that we're teaching. Some exercise require a different handle setting than others. On the back, we have the same thing. On the back here, I also want to point out that we have the pin. So when you buy your rotating handles, even the handles on the front, all going to come with the pull pin mechanism. This is a safety feature, and it allows basically the handle to lock in place, and I think you can hear it here. So the rotating handles are fantastic, and they allow you to do a lot more exercises. However, I've noticed that most studios never use the rotating aspect of the handles. They all kind of teach your classes with the machine in this way. So in that case, if you're not going to be using the rotating handles, then maybe you should consider static handles. So the static handles are this one over here. So this is an M3K plus, okay? Whenever you're online and you see the plus sign, the plus means that it has the static handles. Static means they don't rotate, they're just static, right? So the static handles are modeled after the rotating handles. So this bar, the pad, essentially represent all the major or the most important contact point of the handles. Here we have a long parallel bar, which basically represent the P1 and P2 position of the handles. We have the pads over here, which represent the different points of the curved handles. On the back end, we have the white bars. The white bars represent the T-bar position. Okay, so it's about the same length over here. The other difference beside the fact that these are static is that also these are covered with the foam, and this is very comfortable. Here we have some kind of a rubber material, and for most people, this is actually very hard on the hand and hard on the wrist. So we sell covers, and you put the cover on top of the handles just so that it doesn't feel as hard on the hand. This feels amazing. First of all, we use a wider diameter, so it feels less pressure on your foot or on the palm of your hand. But we also have the foam material, and it's very, very nice to grip because, you know, sometimes you do a catfish for 2-3 minutes or a French twist, or you do some of this exercise, you're in there for a long time. So you do want it to be comfortable. I think it's very important. Now, the only problem with the static handles is that the machine comes like this, right? And these static handles cannot be moved out of the way. At least with this machine, you know, when you're done using the rotating handles, you can put it back in its place and you still have, you know, space left. This, you're stuck with that. So over here, we're talking about 46 inches from the side of the pad to the other side, 46 inches. Here we're talking about 41 inches in this configuration. And when we move the handle sideways, we're talking about 44 inches. But again, you can move the handle kind of out of the way if you want to. Here you can't. And that is the point of this whole conversation today, is really, do I need those pads or not? So these wide handles were modeled after the rotating handles and also the use of the Supra. The Supra was a machine that was going up and tilted. And because of that, we really needed those pads and we really needed certain features of that machine. If you're going to use the Megaformer, you're not going to have the ramp. You're probably not going to need most of that functionality over here on the handles. And this is why we have another option for you for the trim for the static handles, and those are the trim handles, which is on my left over here. So when you look at those handles over here, these are also static handles. They don't rotate, but the difference is that we've cut out the fat, right? We've cut out the pads over here. We've cut out the curve in handles so that, because a lot of people were complaining that with this setup, they can't really do like a kneeling in the thighs. They can't do the side skate or the side kick. Now you can. So this is essentially, this is an M3 over here. So here we have an M3s with the rotating handles. Here we have an M3K plus, and here we have an M3 plus with the trim fit or the slim handles. We call them the trim or the slim handles, the narrow handles if you want to. But still, this still has the denomination of the plus sign, okay? So these trim handles are now much better because you don't have the maintenance that you have on the rotating handles, and you don't have all the extra width that you have with the pads. So the width of these handles is about 30 inches. So we went from about 41, 44 inches to 46 inches to now down to 30 inches, and 30 inches on the front and 30 inches on the back over here. Okay, so that machine is now narrower. The carriage is slightly wider at 32 inches, but we are narrower on the handles over here. When I was teaching, or when I am teaching on the Megaformer with those pads, I do notice that most of the people, when I do a mega donkey kick, chest press or whatever, an icebreaker, they don't really use the pad. They all use the handle, even to place the foot. When they do a mega donkey kick, they'll put the heel on the bar. Very rarely they put the foot on the pad. I don't know why, but that's how it is. So here we have the exact same slope, the same angle, and then you can use that for your mega donkey kick, for your chest press, tricep press, spider kick, and you're going to notice that no difference really between this and that. The only difference again is that now you have actually an actual walkway. If you actually put 10 Megaformer in a single room with these the wide bars, you will be able to put 11 Megaformers with the trim handle. No problem whatsoever. So it's kind of worth it, right? And I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about that today. And I'm also going to talk about class capacity and the width of the machine in a separate video when we compare the M3K Plus, the EVO 1, and the Mini Pro, because the Mini Pro is actually it's not the smallest machine, but of all the, I would say, professional machine or in-studio professional machine, it's the narrowest machine because I believe the Mini Pro is 24 inches in width. So big difference from 24 to 46 to even 24 inches in width. You can put a lot more machine in the same room. So we're going to have a conversation about this on a different video. Same thing on the back over here, right? When people are using, when I was teaching or when I'm teaching the lat pull down or certain exercise where you could use the wide bar, again, most people are going to use the narrow bar. So again, on this over here, the fact that we chopped off the side handles doesn't really affect the functionality of the machine. The machine is great. I have personally studios which have both set up, and there's been no difference. And so now we are going to move at all our locations. We're actually going to remove all the wide bars for the slim bars, just so that we can add 2 more machines. So for example, we have one location where we have 18 machines. Just by changing the bars, we're going to be able to put 20 machines. And that studio, we have sold out classes all the time. So be able to add 2 more spots for every single class, that's going to be major for us because I think that studio operates about 60 classes a week. So times 2, that's 120 more spots just by removing the handles. So it's a big consideration. I want to talk about the EVO 1 because the EVO 1 is basically represent the study of 10 years, right? So the EVO 1 was designed and came out in 2019. And by then, the Megaformer had been in operation for about 6 years. We had the M3s, the M3, the M3s, M3K, and M3X. The EVO 1 is based on the M3X. However, with the M3X, the machine kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, especially wider. So I finally had to make a decision. I'm like, I cannot keep making those machines bigger because we're going to run out of room. At one point, the machine is going to be so big that you only have one machine for 1,000 square feet. So that is not good for business. I must be able to find those machines a little smaller because most studios out there operate with small capacities, between 600 and 1,000 square feet. More and more studios now are opening with a larger capacity, but still, most of the studios out there operating a very small room. So I looked at the M3X and I based the EVO 1 on the M3X using the latest and the greatest that we could do. And for the design of the handles, first of all, I wanted to integrate the handles to the platform, and that's kind of what we did with the EVO 1. These handles are part of the platform. They're not separate. And also, when I looked at the static handles, everyone loved this material. It's very comfortable on the hand or over the foot. They didn't like so much the hard cover on the M3s over there. But the problem with this cuts very easily, and I wanted something that was more moldable because I realized, okay, if we're only gonna have just one bar to push against, the bar needs to have more of a flat surface. So I designed this triangular grip. The triangular grip is also available for the static handles. So when you buy your static handles, okay, that's when it becomes a little confusing, right? First, you have to choose, when you buy a megaformer, you have to choose if you want rotating or static. Then, when you buy the static handles, you have to decide if you want the static handles to be wide bars or slim trim. And then you have another option. Do I want the round grip or do I want the triangular grip? Because you can actually have these handles built with a triangular grip. So there's an option, right? So it's going to cost you $300 to go from a rotating handle to a static, and an extra $300 for the round to go to the triangular grip. The triangular grip is a fantastic design, and it's kind of, we have it all over here. We have it also on the ring of fire and on the back end. On the back end, we've designed a handle that was slightly longer. But when you buy your EVO 1, and again, you think, well, out of all these 4 machines over here, the EVO 1 is the narrowest. We're talking about 28 to 29 inches, okay? So 18 inches, 19 inches more narrow than the M3K Plus. Almost 20 inches, that's huge, right? If you add 10 megaformers in a row, if you compare the M3K Plus and the EVO 1, you're saving almost 200 inches in space just by having that design. So it means that you can actually put more EVO 1 in that same room. It's a big difference. But the problem with the EVO 1, it's a longer machine, right? We're talking about 124 inches for all of these machines. This is 134 inches, so that's 10 inches longer. Now, for most people, 10 inches, well, 10 inches is not that big of a deal, but for some people, it is. So if you want to keep this machine with a smaller footprint, you can actually swap out the rear platform setup to the front platform. So if you buy the front platform and put it on the back, then you're going to save an extra 8 inches on the back end. So you're going to bring the overall length of the EVO 1 to about 128 inches in length, so just a few inches longer than these machines, but still many inches slimmer. So that represents a good fit. All right. Like I said, I'm going to talk separately about the width of the machine, and I'm going to include the Mini Pro in there, because I think that, you know, when you guys order your machines, you have to think, of course, about the functionality of the bars. I would say that all of those bars are fantastic, but if you go beyond the functionality and you also want to use about the class capacity, because if you only have 1,000 square foot, I'm not really worried for studios that have 4,000 or 5,000 square feet and they're going to use a lot of the empty space and do something really cool with it, no problem. But for most studios out there, they usually are going to operate with 1,000, 1,200 square feet. So you have to be very careful with the type of machines you're going to get, because like I said, you know, if you order the right models, you might be able to add another 1 or another 2 machines in there, and that is going to make an incredible change, you know, in your monthly revenues. Each more person you can accommodate in class is always a major win, especially when you operate with 50, 60, 70, 80, or 90 classes a week. 1 more person will make a big difference in the bottom line. So here you have it. You have the explanation within the handles. If you have any questions, concern, comments, suggestions, recommendation, please email us at info@lagreefitness.com. And again, my name is Sébastien Lagree. Thank you for watching.